question I've seen a few times is, if your landlord puts your rent up, which we're seeing stories of landlords putting rents up by £200 a month, that sort of figure. What can a tenant do? Is a tenant got any rights to challenge that and kind of try to fight against that sort of increase?
Well, in the old days, there was a sort of regime which allowed people to challenge this, but this was under the Rent Act 1977, which Mrs. Thatcher got rid of in 1988. So most people have not seen one of these tenancy agreements. But there you could apply for the rent tribunal to register a fair rent. That all went out the window with the Housing Act 1988. You could apply to the tribunal, which is now the first tier tribunal, and you can apply for you can refer a rent increase to them. But the problem is, instead of a fair rent, they're looking at what is a market rent. And so the danger is in London, or nowadays with rent prices going up, it's quite difficult to challenge. But one technical challenge people may be able to take advantage of, is that the landlord can't just write you a letter or send you an email saying, oh, by the way, the rent's going up next week. They have to serve a notice in a prescribed form in accordance with Section 13 of the Housing Act 1988. And if they don't do that, then the rent increase is invalid. That's about all you can do, really. You can check if you've got a valid notice, and if you have a valid notice, you can refer it to the tribunal. That will freeze the increase until it's been decided. But I have never dealt with, and I've never even been asked to take these things to the tribunal, because once I mentioned about I don't think people have ever come to me and said, I've had a rent increase, can I challenge it? But if they did, once I say about market rent, I think we all recognise they're better off trying to get rehoused.
And so again, like in one sense, the advice to the layperson would be, go to your housing options team in the local council and just pray that you get one who is, because this is probably a little bit off the beaten track. So a lot of housing officers might not know about the first tier tribunal or whatever. I've certainly never heard of it. But actually, the housing officer again would be able to give you some good advice and just talk through and crucially just kind of document everything, so that if you do then become homeless because you haven't paid or something, there's then clarity about the fact that you haven't done something stupid. You've acted on the advice of a professional. So